Hello, martial arts friends, YouTube. A rare occasion where the saber serpent speaks. I had a question from my Facebook friend Roxanne, who is a very cool and classy lady, and that's why I have no problem answering her question. It was just one of those things that's easier to show than tell. So, let's get to it. Okay, this is our standard 6-foot staff. Alright, so Roxanne's question was in regards to my post earlier about a staff being a cutting weapon. Okay, I'd like to note here that earlier this month, or last month maybe, my Pak Mei Sifu Russ Smith from Burikan Martial Arts actually addressed this in his Matayoshi Bojutsu series. So I just want to note that I'm really playing off of his contribution, and I hope that's okay, Sibak. I don't want to take anything away, and absolutely am a supporter of Burikan and will continue to do so. You know, swords are my bread and butter, blade weapons. But a big part of my training in Daito Ryu prior to Pak Mei involved the use of the Jo, or the Japanese 4-foot staff, quarter staff. So I got a pretty good chunk of knowledge over those 6 years. Those were the only 2 weapons we trained, was sword, katana, and Jo. Occasionally knives, but not too often. Anyhow, so I do have some insights from that experience, and the Pak Mei one as well. So when we look at this, first thing to note about this is every surface of this can be used to attack, to strike, to neutralize. Every single surface. There's no surface of this where you can grab onto that's going to hurt you. Now that is absolutely untrue of bladed weapons. They have to be held, in most cases, in a very specific way. This is about as symmetrical as it gets. So, let's look at this a little closer, this symmetry. Okay? So we come out to the end here, where it's all cut off nice and even. And if we look at it real close, now this one's even been dinged up from heavy use. And you can still see that's a pretty sharp edge there. Now, let's look at one that's clean. And this is a 5-footish staff, smaller, that I built for one of my female students. And if we look here, where it's cut off, I just cleanly cut it off with a circular saw. That's pretty darn sharp. So, if I'm out here, you know, in a defensive or an attacking position, or a position getting ready to thrust, diagonal, whatever, if he's in such a range that this scrapes across the forehead, scrapes across the jawline, it's going to cut him wide open. And this is actually a really good target, cutting across the forehead, because there's so much blood in the head. Head wounds bleed terribly. Anybody in medical services knows this. So you've cut him and you've blinded him. So while he's wiping blood out of his eyes, you can either escape or you can escalate, whatever the situation calls for. So this is how it cuts, and we can use it all kinds of techniques to come around from the inside and cut, like the Pak Mei technique. We can use these deceptive, what we would call katate waza, or one-handed techniques, where we look like we're going to give him a big heavy strike, but instead we give ourselves range and just let that sharp edge scrape right across his head. Miss the first time, just use the body to bring it back. And we're right back in control of our weapon. So, this edge, this is what makes the staff a cutting weapon, and most high-level practitioners are going to use it that way in real application. We get the same thing looking at the Hambo, or the 2-foot staff. Sometimes this is used singular, sometimes it's paired, sometimes it's used with a shield or a different weapon, a kama, sickle, chain. Anyway, same deal, okay? load up. You come in and let that strike just across his forehead. Boom. Boom. Open him up. Then that's blood in the eyes. Now even if he's fighting, he's having a hard time seeing, and he's eventually going to have to either dip down and rub. He's going to have to open himself up, and what you need to do from there is up to you and the situation and what it calls for. Roxanne, I hope that answered your question. Seabach Smith, I hope you don't mind me kind of piggybacking off your lesson. It was very thorough, and all right, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I had never imagined in my wildest dreams 165 people would be interested in watching what I do. It's pretty humbling. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.